What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Geek Tank, episode 25. I'm your host this week, Joshua Mobley, and I'm joined by my good friend, Dave.
Whoop whoop!
We're also joined by Steve, aka Frost the Light. Kyle is not here this week. He is busy working on some personal stuff. We wish him the best.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's back next week.
He will.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. But
The man can't stay away. Can't stay away from me.
Gonna say. But we have Steve here. We have Steve here now, and we haven't had Steve on in a little while, so that's kind of cool. I missed you, Steve.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
You're always welcome.
Anyway, let's just start this off. How's everybody's week been? What have you been playing? Anything cool? What's going on?
There is a game I want to talk about because I didn't think I was going to be playing it. I know you're thinking I'm going to say Titanfall 2 because I've been talking about Titanfall 2 like non-stop since I've been
playing it. I didn't think you were going to say Titanfall 2.
You
but
didn't? Really?
I know you have been playing Titanfall 2.
Okay. Well, actually, I picked up a new game because, as I believe I've told you, my whole project with Heavy Metal Bake Sale went balls up after a copyright claim from Bandai. But
yeah.
So instead, I decided to check out a giant robot video game and possibly do some episodes of Heavy Metal Bake Sale on that. And so I picked up this random Steam game that came up when I searched, just Mecha on Steam. And so I'm playing this game called Project Nimbus, which is
why does that sound so familiar?
It's an early access game, and I didn't know about it. Honestly, like I feel like I should have, but I didn't. It's it's Armored Core on PC. That's basically what it is. I mean,
what?
With the exception of there's no customization. It's just pre-built mechs. So it's more just the combat of Armored Core, really. It's not the it's not the deep customization part of Armored Core. We'll have to wait for a
video of this. What? This looks dope.
It's awesome, yeah, and it controls really, really, really well. Like actually, keyboard mouse totally fine. Like I picked it up immediately. It was not. I didn't need the controls to tell me anything. I just did it. It was really, really really intuitive. I'm playing a little bit of the campaign. It's it's a mecha campaign. It's not really, especially like the Armored Core campaigns. It's like it's not really what you're there for. It's more for the combat and the just the fun of being in a giant fucking robot.
Right.
Because giant robots rock. Plug. So.
Robot rock.
So. Yeah, I mean, I've played a little bit of that. I mostly did their survival mode, which basically, like, they just put you against, like, increasingly harder waves and waves of enemies. And, like, you start out, pretty, like, your first wave, you can pretty much just decimate, especially if you pick, like, the most, like, tank-like mech. Like, basically, there's certain mechs that are, like, the standard mechs, which are, like, super underpowered. And they have, like, one gun and, like, a missile launcher that can only lock on, like has like 8 missiles that locks on and it fires and it's not very powerful. But then you can pick something that has like 32 missiles and like has a bunch of different things like smart missiles and funnel bits and stuff like from Gundam. And like it can get real super OP really quick.
All you have to say is Gundam.
Yeah.
Do it.
So and I know that like that would seem like it would ruin the game because like there's clearly mechs that are better than others, but really it's just more like a challenge thing. Like I will set it to like the hardest difficulty. And with the better mech, I will get further, but at some point, I will inevitably hit a wall. Like there's inevitably you get overwhelmed at some point. Whereas if you pick the more simple mech, the one with like just the gun and missiles, it's a much harder fight. And like by like wave 5, you're like basically like sweating because it's so freaking hard. So really, really enjoying that game, and I'm definitely planning on doing an episode of I guess Giant Robots Rock about it. I don't know. Planning. I don't really know, but
it looks cool.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what is that arcade game where you had the 2 joysticks? It was on like Dreamcast also. It was a mech game, but it was like one-on-one mech battles.
One-on-one mech battles was on Dreamcast.
It drive me nuts. I think it was on Dreamcast. I think. I don't know for sure.
You're not talking about Steel Battalion, right? No.
No. That's Xbox.
Yeah.
I'm gonna type in mech arcade game and we're gonna find out. Yep. Anyway, no, not Chrome Hounds. Get out of here. Virtual On. That is what it's called.
I don't even know what that is.
Ah man, Virtual On was dope. It was just like PvP, and you picked a mech and your opponent picked a mech, and they were like. It was like built into a racing cabinet, so you like had 2 seats and you both sat down, and then it was just two joysticks, and you like control, like if you wanted to go left, you'd go both left, and if you wanted to go right, you go both right, and then if you wanted to turn, you'd go like one up, one down, or whatever. And then they had like triggers and missiles and stuff.
That sounds awesome.
It was super cool. Yeah, man. Virtual On.
Virtual On.
Yeah.
Sounds really good.
They should remake that.
Well, honestly, we're supposedly getting a new Armored Core game soon. Like, not soon, but it's supposedly that's what From Software is working on now. So
that would be cool.
I'm super excited for that.
That would be super cool. I still wish they'd make Castlevania.
Nah, I'm good with. I mean, granted, I'm more of a giant robot guy to begin with, so like I'm super excited for a new Armored Core with like, you know, next gen graphics, and, you know, put it on my PC and turn it up to like 2K.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, Steve, what have you got for me?
Recently they put out the version 1.4 patch for Vermintide, so I continued losing my soul to that game.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've been playing that forever.
I pop in and out of it every few months for like 30 to 40 hours. So it's accumulated quite a bit of time over the past year. I'm to 182 hours total in it.
Get damn.
Which is quite a bit for me, since I usually spend like 20 to 40 hours with most games. But yeah, they added a quest and contract board in it, so every day you pop in and there'll be 3 items that are up for grabs and a bunch of like daily quests you can do. So it's kind of, I guess that's really what it is. It's kind of like daily quests. And when you complete the quest, you'll make progress to unlocking the item. So it's a kind of, it gives people incentives to play more than just the 3 maps that are optimal for grinding out gear the fastest.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have been jumping back into it and also playing a wider variety of maps, which is good, because I was one of the few people who actually played different maps, because I get bored playing the same map over and over again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've quite enjoyed that. But I after putting another 30 hours into the game, I think I'm ready to put it aside for a bit and play something else, and I'll probably pick it up again in the new year, because it looks like they're putting out the some new DLC for it with new maps like in the next couple of weeks. So
you know,
Nice.
that whole like not liking the one map thing explains why you don't like MOBAs very much.
I like MOBAs. I hate the people who play MOBAs.
Okay, I stand corrected.
I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you.
I
hate
like,
myself too.
Yeah, I put 2 months, like 8 weeks into Heroes of the Storm this year, and that was like, God, almost 200 hours. So that's the most that's my most played game this year. And I refuse to go back to it, because it's just, I got so sick of people, like the higher up in like the rankings I got for that, the more angry people got.
Yeah.
So like, just you do something and someone will like immediately start questioning it and just go fucking full tilt on you, and I'm like, oh, this is the worst. This isn't fun. I want to just have fun, but like when the only way, like, I mean, people even did it in like just quick match, so like that's supposed to be just the shits and giggles mode, and people still were super serious about everything all the time. So I ended up like going back to bot matches, but because I've been playing humans so often, I just ruffle stomp the bots, and I'm like, oh god, I can't have fun with this game anymore.
You know, I will say that. Wow, that's a weird message in chat.
What?
Better delete that.
What did it say? Somebody
It's like
promoting
someone's
themselves?
phone number. It says, "Can you call me?" And I'm like, "Nope,
Call the
I'm doing
number,
that.
Josh.
I'm not calling shit.
God damn it, Josh.
I'm not calling nothing."
One interesting thing that's happened to us. Just pissing all over it.
Yeah, first time we stream, it's like, here you go. Here's some weird ass phone number. It's probably a bot.
Still, call that bot. Get that bot booty.
I'm not doing that. Another sad. I'm sorry. You know, I will say for Heroes of the Storm, it's gotten a lot better. Quick play is more like what you were talking about. It's just like no one cares. At least
So
when
they
I
get the
when I jumped back in recently and played, like recently, it seemed like it was totally fine. Like I didn't really encounter anyone. I encountered like one dude who did like a wow really, and then I just muted him. I was like, whatever. I already know you're gonna be a problem.
Yeah, yeah. I with competitive games, I tend to prefer when there's just a shits and giggles mode because I'm usually whenever I have like a competitive ranking attached to something, I can never have fun playing. Like I'm just as bad as a lot of people I complain about.
Nah.
I try not to engage in any kind of like whenever I want to I'd be like fuck you and like chat. I'm like no, don't type that. That will make you just as bad as them.
Don't go to their
But
level.
like yeah, exactly. But like I whenever there's a ranking attached to something, I always get super frustrated with losses. Where if there's no ranking at all and I can just like piss around and have fun, then I end up just pissing around and having fun. So yeah, yeah, Vermintide, and I've also been playing this indie. It's like a beat 'em up fighter kind of. It's called Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds. You
Sounds
play
interesting.
as like one of these little like Sailor Moon girls, and you just beat the shit out of stuff, and it's really fun because it actually uses like a fighting game combo system, and there's also like dodging and blocking and stuff.
Now,
So
when you pick your character, Steve, do the Sailor Moon thing, like like the
no,
whole
but like
transformation process.
when you start off the beginning of the level, they're like wearing regular clothes, and then they do like a little dance, and there's a flash, and they're dressed up in their like battle outfits, which are just like fucking maid outfits. It's so stupid.
I love Sailor Moon. I'll freely admit that when I was a kid, I was into it.
Sailor
care.
Moon.
Sailor Moon.
I watched it.
All right. Everyone watched it.
Yeah.
Every guy
Yep.
watched
Every guy
Sailor
watched
Moon,
that.
and
Yeah,
they
it was
don't.
fun.
And some people don't want to admit it. I'm like, you watched it and you loved it. Don't you tell me
I didn't give a
otherwise.
shit. I watched it. I watched the shit out of that.
I watched it a
loved
few
it.
times, but I could never get into it, so I was like, whatever.
They have the best gifts are Sailor Moon gifts.
Pretty much. Well, that and Spider-Man stuff.
That's the Spider-Man gifts. Yeah, exactly. All right. Is that it?
Yeah.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
So I haven't been playing much because I've been super busy. I did play some ESO, which I had never really played before. Yeah, it was really fun. I have to admit, I played for 2 hours and we had a good time. I'm not gonna dig super into it. You all know what ESO is.
Elder Scrolls
one
Online
thing-
for those of
yes.
you who don't.
The one thing that I played today that
Oh.
came out today,
Oh.
I'm super into,
Oh.
surprisingly, is the Division's new DLC, the Survival. So, for anyone watching, because there's a couple of you watching, and I don't know if any of you know this, but Division had a new DLC pack drop today, and it's basically its own PvP, PvE mode called Survival, and what it does is it just turns the whole game into like a survival game mode, sort of like H1Z1 or something like that. So you don't bring in your gear, you don't bring in your character level or anything. Flat slate. So it starts off, you're like in a helicopter, the helicopter crashes, and then you have like a torn hazmat suit, and basically there's a big snowstorm coming in, so you have to manage your hunger, you have to manage your thirst, you're dying from the virus, so you have to find medicine and like pills and stuff to keep you from dying.
Interesting.
So, and also you start off with only a pistol, and you're only in this hazmat suit. You don't have a virus mask or a filter or anything, so you're screwed. So basically, they start you off in like a room, and you kind of get acclimated, and then you go outside, and there's a snowstorm, and you have up in the right corner like your body temperature, and it tells you like your temperature's dropping, burp, burp, burp. And so
That's actually what it says.
you have to find fire.
Your temperature's
like,
dropping.
You have to find,
Burp, burp, burp.
you have to find fire, and you have to stand by the fire to like warm yourself up, or you have to like find shelter, or go in a building, or like go in a safe house or something to like warm yourself back up. Because your temperature drops like super quick. So basically, when you first start, you're like running from fire to fire, just hoping there's enemies so you can kill them, and hope to God they have like medicine or water or something, you know. Um, but you're not alone in this. So they drop you and 23 other people just in the whole city. So the multiplayer map is the entirety of the New York world map from the actual game. So like everyone's just sprinkled over the entire thing. And it doesn't matter, dark zone or nothing, like people can kill you and take your stuff if they want. Or you can team up with them. I teamed up with somebody when I played today, and we actually made it out. We won my first game. I made it out alive. It took an hour.
Damn.
They can go up to 2 hours. They don't usually. That's unusual. It's about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on if you actually make it out. Like if you die, obviously, you're not gonna make it out. But
well, yeah.
Yeah, so you find, just like in the game, you find crafting materials like electronics and fabric and stuff. You actually use the fabric to craft the appearance items, which in the normal game are just like transmog. In survival, though, they actually like warm you more, so they keep your temperature from decreasing. So at first you have a temperature decrease level of like 1, which means like your body temperature's falling really quickly. Like you only have like a minute before you start freezing to death. So that's why you're darting from fire to fire in the very beginning. But like once you start getting fabric, you're like, okay, I can make myself like a beanie or a jacket or something. Like that level goes up until you're like fully clothed, and then you're like, you know, coldness level like 14 or 15 or whatever. Then it's like you have a whole 10-15 minutes you can stay out in the cold until you're like, oh, I need to go warm up. You know what I mean?
Picturing a bunch of people huddling by a fire, like, you know, pushing newspapers into their clothes to keep themselves warm.
Yeah.
And then one guy's like, "No, bro, I made a beanie."
Yeah, so it's cool.
Everyone
So, like,
turns around and pulls their fucking gun on him.
It's really cool because like
selection,
any source of fire will give you warmth. So like I found a burning car. I went over there and I was like warming myself up next to the burning car and stuff. Or like
that's nice.
You'll find these empty drums laying around, you know, like in movies, is like the bums are always like warming up in the fire and the like weird metal drums or whatever. There's those around the world, but then there's also ones that just aren't lit, and you can find them, and you'll light them on fire. However, like because it's a snowstorm and it's super dark all the time, like you can't see down the street, which makes it like way more tense because it's like this intense snowstorm at night. So it's like, if I light this fire, I'll get warmed up. But if there's some asshole like a block away, he's going to see it. You know what I mean? And then I'm just going to be standing here warming up, and then he's going to run up and take all my medicine. I can't have that. You know what I mean?
It'll be warm.
Yeah, but how you win is basically you survive long enough to build a virus filter, which is like the mask, so that you can go in the dark zone, and then once you go in the dark zone, you can find like sealed treasure boxes, which you can use to extract, and you'll actually get to keep those treasure boxes. So if you find them, they're like, oh, if you actually make it out of the game and don't die, like you get to bring these boxes back to your like character, like your actual character, and you'll get like actual gear. So it's like an incentive for like, you know, playing it outside of the fact that it's just a fun game mode. But after you do that, you have to build like a flare gun, and then you have to go to an extraction zone and light and shoot the flare, and then wait like 3 minutes for a helicopter to come pick you up. And in that time, every other player sees the flare go up, and it like does this huge warning that's like so and so like is calling a helicopter and all that stuff.
Like, well,
and then also they have this new enemy called the Hunters, and they behave like rogue agent bots. Basically, they do all the weird diving and stuff, and like come out, and they are freaking ruthless. And they try to come kill you once you like light the flare, like light the signal fire. and it's so tense. Like, I was having a pretty okay time. I was like, all right, I'm doing good. I'm finding a lot of medicine. I have a lot of soda and water. Like, I'm not thirsty. I got a bunch of energy bars. Like, I'm doing really good, you know? And then near the end, I had built the flare gun before anyone else. And also there's a counter. It's like Hunger Games. Like, they tell you when someone dies. So, like, when you start off, it's like 24, and then for the first minute, it starts going like 22 agents left, 20 agents left, or
Also, it's
whatever.
kind of like a H1Z1 in that regard.
Yeah. So near the end, there was 6 of us, and it hadn't moved in a while. And I can see them all working together in chat. I was by myself. I didn't want anybody's help because I didn't trust anybody. But like, they're all talking like, "Oh yeah, we're getting ready to go in the dark zone." Meanwhile, I've been in the dark zone for like 10 minutes, and I light my flare, and I just see like the thing. Like, I just see like the big thing that's like Jawa Josh like lit the flare in
You're
Dark
like,
Zone number
"Fuck!"
3 at this location, and I'm like, oh god. So
What have I done?
so I almost died here. Thank God for the guy who came to save me. I like went down, and when you die, you have 5 minutes where like another player can come revive you. And so I'm just sitting there. I was like, I'm just gonna see if anyone actually comes. 4 minutes go by. I'm on my last minute. Someone picks me up. And I'm like, oh my god. And then they send me a party invite. And then we proceeded to defend the helipad for 3 minutes. And we got out alive.
Nice.
And I won. And my god, I only got to play the 1 match this morning. But all I've been thinking about all day while I've been at work is like, man, I want to play more of survival. Because it's so fun. And, there's actually a version you can play of it that's just PvE, like there won't be any rogue agents, but that's boring to me. I want the thrill, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, question: If I just bought the vanilla version of the game, do I get the survival mode, or is that just for the season pass holders?
It's an expansion. You can buy it. Yeah,
because
without buying the season pass, I think you can even buy it without buying Underground. So. Because I have the season pass, I got it through some weird way, but I got it.
Josh ways.
I got it through a Josh way, but so I have Underground, even though I hadn't. I played Underground for literally the first time the other day. You don't really need it. It's like its own mode. Underground's like literally its own mode. So you don't. I don't think you need to own Underground to buy Survival.
According to the Steam page, you just need the base game.
Yeah. So, because again, like Underground didn't. I don't think it raised the gear score level. It was 229 that whole time.
Yeah.
This one actually raises the gear score level. So, it was 229. Now it's like 256 or something like that. But yeah, it is a ton of fun. I noticed today that Division went on sale on PS4 on Amazon for like $10, so I snagged 2 copies because I want to play it on PS4 with my Destiny clan. I have it on PC.
Yeah.
So
I remember when we bought it, you were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put it on PC," and then like no, we both played alone basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I played on Xbox. I was like, well, no one else is here.
Right. I know that, man. I can't. Tell you what, man. But I tell you what, for Ghost Recon, I am buying it on PS4. I'm super hyped for Ghost Recon. So, but overall, and I mean, they added some other stuff. Like they added a ton of quality of life stuff in their 1.5 patch, and they also added like a new world tier and of course a higher gear score. They added a bunch of new gear sets and some other stuff, and just made like certain things better. But overall, like I've seen people say that they're pretty happy with survival, but they're like, loot is too hard to get. I don't even care, honestly. I think the mode is so much fun. I don't even care if I get loot. I mean, it's nice to get the loot. I think it's cool, but like I'm so not invested in this game's end game. Like I could just play survival until whatever is next, you know? Like, it's just so cool. And I kind of wish that the game had launched with something like this because it kind of needed it. Like, it needed its own dedicated PvP sort of mode similar to, like, Destiny hung on by a thread because it had Crucible, you know, and Division had none of that. It was like all just PvE, and then the Dark Zone, which was a nightmare for a long time. So I think the game needed this. I've seen some people say like, I wish there was more story stuff. Keep in mind that this is only the second out of the 3 expansions that people were supposed to get, and around now we were supposed to be getting the 3rd expansion, but because the game was so broken and stuff, like Massive said, we're delaying our expansions until we get 1.4 out because we want to fix the game. And you know what? They did. They really did fix the game, and 1.5 is awesome, and I really love survival mode. I'm interested to see if the last expansion, Last Stand, I think it's called, has like any story stuff in it, because a lot of people have been saying like, I want more story content. They literally have not added any story content to the game since
Last Stand sounds like it'd be more of a horde mode, just based off of the name.
Maybe. I don't know. We don't really know what it is. They just have said it's an expansion, but they said that it got delayed. So I imagine Last Stand is going to be what to the Division what Taken King was to Destiny. That's what I would say. That's what that will probably be. But I don't know. I'm not super plugged into the Division community, honestly. I've just kind of like dipped back in, was like this week, and was like, what's going on in here? And I was like, oh, this is a fun game mode. Yeah. Survival is really awesome. I really recommend people jump back in. It's super fun. And you can queue up into survival games with your friends. So like you can queue up, you'll all be in random spots, but you can find each other and team up and like play the survival mode together.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's cool. All I'll say, because we've been doing this has been going kind of long, all I'll say about Darksiders, the War Baked or whatever the hell it's called, Warmongered edition.
War Mastered.
Thing that came out, War Mastered edition, whatever.
We have to think about remastered.
Yeah. I love that game. It's God of War meets Zelda. It's only $20. If you have PS, it runs in 60 frames per second, every version. It's on Xbox One, PS4, PC. If you have it on PC or you have a PS4 Pro, you can play it in 4K with 60 frames per second. And that game actually still looks pretty good. I was like, you know, this game has an art style that holds up. It's very comic booky, you know. The combat still feels freaking awesome. Feels great to play. Nice. I love that game. So I would play it now, but like I got Survival, and then also SRL's coming back soon, and then Final Fantasy's next week. I don't have time. So
it's the holidays, man.
I don't know. I know. But, you know, I'm going to have more time to play stuff pretty soon because we're going on winter break. But
well, you're going on winter break. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't get a winter break either.
I don't want to go on winter break, but that's how it goes. Anyway, that's it. We're going to get into the news now.
Josh.
What?
The rigmarole.
The rigmarole.
Do you want me to
don't have open?
I'll say it. Ladies and gentlemen,
you can say it.
I've said it so many times. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Geek Tank Podcast, a podcast where we enter the gaming trenches and give you our brutally honest opinions about gaming in general. If you like this podcast, feel free to like us or follow us on Twitch. If you are watching us on Twitch right now, this is actually our first episode that we are doing on Twitch. Show us in some way that you appreciate us, because whether it is your first or your 25th time, I want to say, your 25th time
25th
watching.
time.
Oh my God, I got it. I didn't even look it up
get
beforehand.
It right.
Fuck yeah. You are a member of the battalion. And with that, we'll move on to This Week in Gaming.
Whoa, there's news stories on the overlay now. Whoa.
Magic's in the air.
Magic's in the air. This comes... Everyone who's listening to this at home is just so confused right now.
That's the brilliance of it.
Oh, man. Blizzard's giving Overwatch Symmetra a second ultimate ability and not a total rework, but a pretty big rework. So, this story comes from Polygon. I'll just read a little bit of it. In Overwatch, heroes typically only have one single ultimate ability, that's no longer true of Symmetra, whose moveset Blizzard Entertainment is being redesigned in a coming update. That's a bad sentence. Lead designer Jeff Kaplan detailed the various changes to the character in the latest Overwatch developer update, which you can watch above. I watched the whole thing. Before we get into Symmetra, they had 2 changes. They said that the new map that they showed at BlizzCon is coming soon. The Egypt one. I imagine in the same patch that all these Symmetra changes are happening. And then also they're adding a quality of life feature where if you like the people you played with in a game, you can basically like push a button that says like I want to keep playing with these people, and it will send all of them party invites, and you can
awesome.
party up with them, which I think is super cool. The Symmetra changes are basically her big problem was that she's really good in the beginning of the game,
and she's really useless later in the game.
Yep. Exactly. So what they're doing is now, instead of just having her ultimate ability, which is the teleporter, you're going to be able to switch her teleporter into a shield generator. So basically, when you get to the point where you're like near the end of the game and you're trying to just defend 1 point, you can turn her teleporter into a shield generator, and it apparently has just a gigantic radius. So it'll cover like the whole point. And basically what you do is you hide it, sort of like you hide the teleporter, and it basically renews people's shields for you, instead of you like having to like mash E and just look at people and hope to God, you know what I mean? Like that you're putting shields back on them, because they said that it was like a burden when you're trying to like put turrets down and also maintain a point. Because like when you were playing Symmetra, there's just like so much going on. So I think this is really cool. Symmetra is one of my favorite characters, so I'm excited to see the stuff they do with her kit. I don't think anything else is getting changed all that much, but it sounds cool, because I agree that was a huge problem with her. Is that totally useless later on. Yeah. Anyway, they didn't say when this was happening, by the way. They just said that it's happening some point soon.
Isn't it on the PTR already?
No, I think it's soon. I would imagine sometime in the next 2 weeks it'll be on PTR. If I had to guess. Anyway, next news story. Gone Home bundled with 150 other games.
Jesus.
Support 2 great causes. Gone Home, Proteus, and 149 other indie games are currently being sold in a bundle on itch.io in an effort to raise money for 2 nonprofit organizations that may soon be more vital than ever. Known as a good bundle, the package includes 151 DRM free games from 115 indie developers. It's not quite a pay what you want bundle. The minimum price is $2, but that only nets you 89 of the games, like Zoe Quinn's Depression Quest. If you pay $8, you'll receive 36 additional titles such as Vector Park's Metamorpho bit. I'm not sure. And if you contribute $20 or more, you'll get everything in the bundle, including marquee games like Mid Boss's Read Only Memories, which I actually played at Gamer, and it's pretty cool. I would recommend it. More than 25 of the titles are browser-based. The rest are playable on Linux, Mac, and or Windows PC, depending on the games in question. I saw this today. This is pretty cool. It's a lot of games.
Yeah, 150 games.
Yes, it is.
150 indie games, including Gone Home, which is an amazing game, and it's only $8 for the most part. $20 if you want to get like read-only memories and everything else. But I think this is super cool. Snag it. Obviously, especially if you've never played some of these games before, because some of them are incredible. Yeah. Any thoughts on the indie bundle?
Well, I think it's really cool if it's for a good cause.
Sorry, I missed. What charities are they for?
The nonprofits, they're Planned Parenthood and I'm forgetting the other one, and I just closed the tab. But I know it's Planned Parenthood, and then the other one is escaping me, unfortunately.
That's actually the game's name. No, I'm kidding. We'll put it past.
Hang on, I'm clicking it to see. It is for the ACLU.
Right.
So the ACLU and Planned Parenthood basically get, I believe, 100 or 50% of all of it, basically.
Okay.
Or 100%. Oh wait, no, it's split 50-50 between those, basically. Anyway, next news story. Controversial Pokemon and Metroid fan games removed from the Game Awards ballot, which we're going to talk about. We're not going to talk about the Game Awards right now, so let's
just
not talk about it. We're talking about it later.
Yeah.
We're talking about it later.
Fine.
Sorry. I mean, we're talking about this, but we're going to talk about the Game Awards in general later. So I'll read just a little bit of the news story. 2 games inspired by Nintendo properties are no longer eligible for this year's The Game Awards. I don't know why they wouldn't just call it Game Awards, but okay. Despite their inclusion on the ballot earlier this week, NeoGAF posters spotted that Pokemon Uranium and another Metroid 2 remake have disappeared from the nominees for Best Fan Creations, and the event's organizers haven't provided a reason for the change. Pokemon Uranium and AM2R both courted controversy earlier this year as Nintendo cracked down on unlicensed projects that had used its intellectual property. AM2R, an ambitious revamp of Metroid 2: The Return of Samus, launched over the summer after years in the making, only for Nintendo to squash the free download just weeks after release. The company cited copyright claims, which it would give as the reason for shutting down numerous other unauthorized fan projects in the subsequent weeks, which they go on to say this also happened with Pokemon Uranium and so on and so forth. So, thoughts? I actually didn't even know that these were up for an award until I saw the news that they were getting removed.
I saw the award, like the nominations earlier in the week, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. The 2 fan projects that Nintendo DMCA'd are up there, and like 3 or 4 days later, they were gone. So I'm like, oh, well, Nintendo fixed that then, didn't they?
Yeah, I bet. Do they have other things nominated right now?
Yeah, it's Brutal Doom and something else.
It's Skyrim mod, I believe.
Yeah.
Is the other one.
Basically 2 games.
No, I meant, does Nintendo themselves have stuff up for nomination?
Just in general, or?
In general.
Let's take a look.
Nothing, or yeah, there's a few games that they have up. Fire Emblem, I believe, is the biggest thing they've got up there.
Monster Hunter, Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go by like association.
Yeah.
But
then again, we're not supposed to be talking about this, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I would imagine that they were taken down because Nintendo said, "Oh, we're not going to support the Game Awards if you don't take these down because fuck these games."
Yeah. I get it. I'm not saying that I'm necessarily happy about it. I played Pokemon Uranium. I didn't get a chance to play the Metroid thing. I thought Pokemon Uranium was really cool. I'm not necessarily like angry, but I do get it because the Game Awards aren't necessarily something that is meant for us, like the hardcore sort of, gamer bubble people. I mean, we watch the Game Awards sometimes with disdain, but I think the Game Awards are for like the mass of everyone else who doesn't read IGN or Polygon or GameSpot every day, and they just play like Call of Duty, and occasionally like their friend says, "Hey, have you heard about, this game?" and they go to GameStop and pick it up when it's used like half a year later. People that just don't pay attention to this kind of stuff. I think those people watch the Game Awards, and I can tell you that if some kid is watching this and sees Pokemon Uranium, they're gonna be confused. Like, even though it says fan creation, and I know that's a good argument, like it says fan creation, this is for that nomination. There are people, I remember hearing stories there were people that would go into GameStops during, you know, like when Mario Sunshine came out, and they'd be like, "Hey, can I get Mario Sunshine for the original Xbox?" And they'd be like, "That's a Nintendo only game." They'd be like, "What do you mean?" Like they would just didn't understand. So I can tell you right now.
Oh my
that,
god.
Yeah. So I can tell you right now that if it was like if those were up there, you know, I truly believe there would have been people going into GameStop saying like, "I want to buy Pokemon Uranium." And stuff, or I want to buy, you know, another Metroid Fan 2 thing. Mainly Pokemon, especially because Sun and Moon literally came out last week. So
yeah, that's the big part of it.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of makes sense to me. I mean, it sucks.
I guess when you break it down like that, I'm a little less bitter about it. But my initial reaction to it was like, okay, you DMCA'd the project. That's fine. You're protecting your intellectual property. I get that. But why the fuck did you take them off the ballot? But like with that explanation, I suppose that makes a little bit more sense for like a reason behind it instead of just being a malicious act of bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, my opinion of it is much like yours, Josh. I mean, they had every right to do this, and I totally understand them doing it. I think that was the fair thing, considering that they are the rights holder. That being said, they're still a bunch of fucking assholes. It's not, you know, and I don't think I don't think I get a lot of disagreement on that one. Like, this is a real douchebag move on their part. They're completely within their right to make said douchebag move, but it is still a douchebag move.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. So
I get it too. Still,
I can't say that I can't say that I'm mad. Like it just makes sense. Like if I was Nintendo, you know, and I just had a Pokemon game come out, and it's probably doing really well, but even I would be like, you can't be doing this. Like you can't be promoting something that breaks our copyright law. Like I understand. I'm not on that side of the fence. So obviously as a fan, my reaction is to be like why can't I have this? But you know, if I was on the other side, I could totally understand being like, you know, being in their position. So
yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to see it that way because of, I mean, granted, I get what you're saying, but it's like we're also talking about the company that like DMCA's and goes after YouTube creators and whatnot. So.
Yeah, I mean, that is a whole different topic, but yeah, they are very like
they're
stuck in the dark ages. So we'll see how it changes.
With the
you know, at some point. Yeah, we switch you.
The switch it.
Anyway, Uncharted 4 getting wave-based survival mode next month. Whoa.
Whatever.
So this was a mode that was in, well, they had a co-op mode in Uncharted 3. It was actually pretty fun. I actually played it a little bit. I'll just read a little bit of this. So, Uncharted 4 Thief's End developer Naughty Dog is adding a wave-based horde-style mode to the game's multiplayer component called Uncharted 4 Survival. Everyone wants to use the word survival. We've said survival like 10 times in this show, by the way.
So much survival.
I know.
Surviving.
I mean, you could argue that's all we ever want to do, and that's all we ever do in life is just try to survive.
It's beautiful, Josh. Beautiful.
Surviving, the original video game. Let's see. You'll be facing off against human enemies in survival mode, including standard shoreline mercenaries and tougher foes such as snipers, brutes, and hunters. Survival mode offers 50 increasingly difficult waves of those enemies across 10 different maps. IGN reports that the mode is split into 10 sets of 5 waves, and that you can save your progress along the way. Thanks, Naughty Dog. So you don't have to set aside hours and hours of time to play through the entire thing. You can also choose a difficulty from the start, and once you beat survival on the hard setting, it unlocks crushing. Cool. That's all I have. I mean, I liked co-op in the multiplayer in Uncharted 2 and 3. I really dug them. Not so much in 4. I thought the multiplayer was like not as good. There's something about it. I don't know.
I don't think
maybe I rose tinted glasses for the other two, but I was straight obsessed with Uncharted 4 multiplayer. Like I prestiged in that game like 6 times. That's how crazy it got.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sweet Jesus.
Dude, don't even get me started. I loved Uncharted 3 multiplayer. It was so fun. Oh, I gotta switch this on the thingy. Hang on. All right. Next, Assassin's Creed will herald Ubisoft's new, less scripted narrative approach. Ubisoft is fully committed to a philosophy that it's been testing for some time, focusing on the game worlds rather than on scripted stories. The next Assassin's Creed title will be the first Ubisoft project to launch with that new direction, said Chief Creative Officer Sergei Haskell. I don't know how to say. Yves Guillemot in an interview with Le Monde. He says, this game is becoming less important. I'm kidding. What interests me is to make worlds that are interesting to me, even as a tourist. And then says something about it again. Basically, what they're saying is they want it to be more like Dishonored, like where you just have a bunch of tools and you solve the problem yourself. Because like a lot of the criticism Assassin's Creed gets is that it should be a stealth game, and it's not a stealth game. There's like occasionally a stealth mission, and then that's it.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I read the piece about this, I was like, oh, so they want to do that Bethesda thing where they just drop you in a world, give you some shit, and tell you to solve the problems on like however the hell you feel like it.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is exciting to me. I actually like Assassin's Creed, and I'm excited to see if that whole Watch Dogs thing where it's in Egypt is actually real. I think that would be super cool because I love ancient Egypt. I love Assassin's Creed, and I would love an Assassin's Creed in ancient Egypt. That's all. Blizzard cancels Overwatch graphic novel. So Blizzard's full-length graphic novel set during the early years of Overwatch's universe, Overwatch First Strike, has been canceled. Lead writer Michael Chu announced today in a post on the official Overwatch forums, saying, ultimately decided to take the story in a different direction. The original idea for the graphic novel dates back to the early days of the game's development and came from our desire to tell the story of the founding of Overwatch during the Omnic Crisis, Chu explained. In the years since First Strike's conception, we've done a lot of development on the universe and its stories. While the core of this story remains, we have changed and expanded upon how we see the events that took place during the first days of Overwatch. So for now, the adventures of Gabriel Reyes, Jack Morrison, Anna Amari, Reinhardt Wilhelm, Torbjorn, and more will have to wait for another day. But we know that this is a story that you are excited about, and it's still one we plan to tell. This was supposed to come out in 3 months. I find it crazy that they waited this long to say anything.
I mean, they probably decided on this earlier. They just didn't.
They forgot.
Like, yeah, or that, or they just didn't have like a good time to say it.
They're like,
so,
oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, here's the thing that we were gonna do, and we kind of changed the canon, so this isn't. We'll get to it eventually. Just go play Overwatch. Don't worry about it.
Like, oh no, we forgot to tell people that the comic book got canceled.
Yeah,
yeah, it's kind of whatever to me.
I mean,
sorry.
wasn't BlizzCon like what, like a week, 2 weeks ago? Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. Josh, you would know.
Yeah, so
BlizzCon was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so they wouldn't want to announce it like right after there's a bunch of other really positive news about Blizzard titles that is circulating, right? So
yeah,
they probably just waited for that to kind of like, you know, give themselves a little breathing room, let the kind of hype from all the stuff they announced die down, and be like, oh yeah, here's this other thing.
Yeah, maybe.
So
it's a good point. I don't know. I'm sad, but I imagine this comic will get either it'll get redone somehow. It'll be like a novel, or it'll be another totally different graphic novel, or it'll be a short or something.
yeah,
We'll see.
People really like their Overwatch lore. So.
I love me some Overwatch. Tell you what. Anyway, last piece of news, another Blizzard-related one, more speculaty. What's a good word for that? What's a good made-up word for this?
I don't know, man. You're on your own with
Whatever.
that.
Okay, fine. Blizzard working on an unannounced first-person project. What?
Perfect. I can quit my job. I can get a job at Blizzard.
uh, Blizzard is. This comes from GameSpot. Blizzard is working on a quote unannounced project that utilizes a robust first-person engine, according to 2 job listings on the company's U.S. career sites. The listings are for 2 lead software engineers, both. Oh my God, there's an ad playing somewhere. Stop it, GameSpot. Stop it. There we go. I got it. I'm sorry, everyone. Autoplay videos. Am I right?
I hate them so much.
Anyway, the listings are for 2 lead software engineers, both specifically preferring workers with experience working on first-person games. To date, Overwatch is the only first-person game Blizzard has ever developed. It's not clear whether the project these job listings refer to is an expansion or sequel to Overwatch or a new game altogether. Other series from the this is some other thing. It's just like, hey, if you didn't know what Blizzard made, I don't think this is an Overwatch thing, if I'm being honest.
I think it is. I mean, I think that they're just making some stuff for Overwatch, so they're getting a team together.
I seriously doubt. Everyone keeps bringing up this idea that like Overwatch is going to have an expansion.
No, I'm not saying an expansion. I'm just saying more content.
Serious doubts, but it's saying it's a whole project. Like they would say, Blizzard says like on their site, like, you know.
I mean, TF2 dropped Man vs. Machine, and that was free, and that was an expansion, basically. You know,
no, that was like a patch. I mean, an expansion implies that it's paid content. I don't think you're ever going to see paid content for Overwatch.
Why would they dilute their market by making another first-person shooter to directly compete with Overwatch? Why would they do that?
That's not what I'm saying.
Well, what are they going to do with it then?
I don't know. That's the question.
Why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. Like they had their
2 strategy games for a long time. I mean,
it's true. But
I'm just saying, like, it could be something else. Like, we don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
if you'd asked anybody 10 years ago if Blizzard would ever make a card game that was successful, people probably would have said, no, you're out of your mind.
Well, I mean,
here we are in a Hearthstone world, you know?
True.
Oh man, what if it's fucking like StarCraft but an FPS?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what
weren't they making that?
Well, they were making Ghost, and that was a third-person shooter, but they passed it off to like 3 other development houses before it got canceled.
Wow.
Because it just never panned out. Like it had so many ideas and went through so many iterations, and Blizzard is just like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and they just throw it out.
Mm-hmm.
So what this either is, and I really doubt it's another multiplayer first-person shooter, if I had to be honest.
I hope not.
If it is a StarCraft thing, it's probably a single-player thing, but it could just be something totally different. Like, who knows? I mean, my thing about the Overwatch thing is, like, I just don't see them releasing paid content because they just split that base right down the middle, and then
no, they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
And I really doubt they're going to do that. So I don't know. I mean, if they did release that, I mean, I would buy it because I'm a weirdo. But a lot of people wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna stick to it being just Overwatch content until we hear more.
Oh man, but like what if it was like? See, I'm thinking like Vermintide. What if it was like a 4-player co-op thing where you play Marines and you fucking mow down wave after wave of Zerg?
Yeah.
That'd be fucking dope.
What if it's like Killing Floor, but it's Zerg and Terran?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Zerging.
You unlock like upgrades and stuff for your like Marine cool. And
I'd like
get like new armor skins and stuff. I'd be all over that. That'd be amazing.
That kind of sounds like a fucking Warhammer game that's coming out in a few weeks.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think that's it for the news. That's all of it.
Well, I mean, news is gonna get kind of light as we head towards the holiday season. It's mostly gonna be like reviews and the Game Awards for the most part.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Game Awards, it's time for Talk on the Show. It's time for Talk on the Show. I'm actually going to put the nominees here up on the screen. But anyway, what we're talking about today, we're going to run down all of the Game Award nominees. I'm going to list the nominees here. We're just going to start right at the top. Game of the Year is the one right at the top. I know that most people did that last. We don't really care here at the Geek Tank. We just roll over everything. So we're just going to go. Yeah. So, Game of the Year nominees are Doom, Inside, Overwatch, Titanfall 2, and Uncharted 4. What an insane year, I gotta say, for all these games.
That's a stacked list right there.
Yeah, when I actually look at this list, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Personally, I would pick Overwatch because it's my game of the year. Part of me thinks that either Inside or Uncharted will win Game of the Year, and because the Game Awards usually seem to go for Naughty Dog games, I think Uncharted 4 will probably win Game of the Year. But my personal pick is Overwatch.
Okay. My personal pick, actually, I'll say again, my personal pick is Overwatch. And I'd probably say my objective pick would also be Overwatch. I think that Overwatch has its backing with like this, like our, I don't want to make it seem like we're exclusive, but like, you know, the hardcore gaming audience really does, you know, favor Overwatch in this situation. It's one of the most watched games on Twitch. It's a very big game. I think that it has a shot. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if Inside or Uncharted get it. I just don't want Uncharted to get it, to be honest. But I think that
it probably will. That's my thing. I liked Uncharted a lot, and I thought it was really good. But I just feel like.
But does it have the same impact that Overwatch had though? Like
no,
I think Overwatch had a bigger impact on gaming in general.
Sure, because it's like once every couple of years that like a game comes out that everyone just gets on board with.
Yeah, and that's why I think it might win. But honestly, we might actually see it go the Rocket League route too, where it like didn't really pick up any of that stuff, even though it was played by everybody. But I don't know.
I don't know, man. We're going like a couple months strong. It's still going. So
I know, but I'm just saying, as far as like the awards go. But
I mean, Rocket League won a few of the awards it was nominated for last year.
True, but as far as like a Game of the Year type thing, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I'll still put it behind Overwatch and say that I think that, you know, player enthusiasm behind Overwatch could put it in that spot.
I don't know. We'll see.
Steve, what do you think?
All right, for the one that I think will win, as with I basically said all the points I was going to say. Dave, Overwatch. It's one of those games that. Like it came along and it's like what Josh said. It's one of those games that everyone just kind of got on board with, and because of that, I think it has a shot at winning. Even though Uncharted 4 is in there, and like if Overwatch wasn't in this list, then it would be Uncharted 4 definitely. As my that's probably the one that's going to win, but I think Overwatch might actually have the potential to give it a run for its money. Even though some diehard Sony fans would say it's a crying shame, but whatever. As for personal pick, Inside, it would be fucking awesome if indie game actually got Game of the Year.
That would be really cool.
I don't think it'll happen because the Game Awards I have opinions about it, and my opinions about it would say that Inside does not have a chance of winning this at all, but it would be really cool if it does.
Well, I know a couple of people like podcasts I've been listening to are some of the electors for it, and you know they've been talking about how they think Inside could win, so they may vote for it. Who knows?
Cool.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But it seems like everyone's just Overwatch or Uncharted.
That seems like the
consensus. Yeah. Before I got all the way down and saw Uncharted, I was like, Inside's totally gonna win. And then I was like, oh.
I will say this though, and I love the fact that Titanfall 2 is there, but Battlefield 1 is not. Yeah.
Ooh,
I kind of love that, to be honest. I think that that's pretty cool. That like the game that got cannibalized by
It's
Battlefield 1
interesting.
is the one that's there.
Yeah. I wonder why. I mean, Battlefield 1
Maybe
isn't
it's better
really
quality.
like
What?
anything new other than the vignettes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's nothing really new. It's technically amazing, and it's kind of a return to form for the series. But
That
it's
must be it.
yeah, I don't know. That's curious.
I like it.
I don't know.
That's
It must have
the
been like a lot of the campaign design for Titanfall 2 is probably
that
what
probably
won people over.
put it way over. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the next category is Best Studio/Game Direction, recognizing a game studio for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. So first we have Blizzard for Overwatch. We have DICE for Battlefield 1. id Software for Doom. Naughty Dog for Uncharted 4. And Respawn for Titanfall 2. So, Best Studio and Game Direction. I'm going to say Battlefield 1 is probably going to win. And I would honestly give it to Battlefield 1.
Really?
Over all of these, yeah.
So both personal and objective?
Yeah. And the reason I say that is because while I like all of these games on this list, Battlefield 1, I used to be a huge fan of the series way back in the day. Like 1942, I was obsessed with it. And as it went on, like by the time we got to like Battlefield 4, I kind of fell out of it because I was like, it's just like it doesn't know what it wants to be and stuff. Battlefield 1 was kind of like a step back, like what made this game so good, in the first place. And then on top of that, it has amazing technical it's amazing technical piece. It has a great story. And like everything from its UI design to its gameplay is fantastic. And on top of that, they pulled off World War One.
Yeah, there's a lot to say for that.
From what
to me, I think it's
sorry to interrupt you, Josh. Just from what I saw of the game, I disagree with that statement, but that's neither here nor there. I'll let you continue.
Okay, well, I had to play it a lot. But yeah, Battlefield 1 for both is honestly mine.
Okay. My personal pick is actually Blizzard. I really like Overwatch's design. Honestly, it was the most out of the 4 of these. That one is the most appealing to me. As far as
5.
Yeah, there's 5 games there.
I'm a little tired.
Titanfall.
And we're gonna ignore that. Okay, so out of these 5 games,
again, all these games rock. I played all of them, and they're all awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily give it to Respawn. I don't think Titanfall 2 is really like the most outstanding creative vision necessarily. Same with id Software. I mean, it's a modernized Doom. It's not like it's not super creative. It's awesome, but it's not like super creative. I honestly think that's a dead heat between Blizzard and DICE. I prefer Blizzard. That's my personal preference. But if I'm going to say which one's going to win, it's going to be DICE. Because honestly, Battlefield 1, objectively speaking, is the first game I've seen in a while that's pulled off World War One, which that speaks a lot for considering the current environment we're in with FPS games as of late, like where it's all just becoming space shooters. Even though I play Titanfall 2, but the fact that they were able to popularize and pull off World War One speaks a lot, and it stands a lot to their creative vision. The way the game is designed, and and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be the voice of dissent here.
Okay.
For objective and the one that I think it'll win. Same for both. Blizzard. Why Blizzard? The story behind Overwatch. They had that. It was originally supposed to be Titan, correct?
Yeah.
And then they kind of it didn't really work for them, and then they kind of scrapped it. And they took what they took what they could from it, and then they created Overwatch from that. that whole backstory, I think, kind of exemplifies what this particular category is about. As far like they took something they were working on that didn't really work, and then they reworked it and they tweaked it and they changed it around until it kind of did create a product that uh, a lot of people ended up really liking.
Yeah.
So I think from my personal viewpoint, I think that deserves the award more than anything else in the category. Because like with Doom, it's a modernized take on Doom. Uncharted 4, it's another Uncharted game. Titanfall 2, it's an improvement on the original Titanfall.
Yeah.
And to I guess elaborate on why I kind of disagree with Battlefield 1, haven't played it, but from what I've seen of the game, there is a lot of automatic weapons in that game for it to be a World War I game. So I don't actually view it as really capturing the time period or the kind of, I guess, the motif of World War I that well, based on my perception and what I know of the First World War. So that's why I don't think it does as much as it could have done. Jesus, what was that?
That was Josh's headset dying.
Oh.
I know that.
So yeah, that's why I think Overwatch, or I guess Blizzard, for Overwatch would be the one that I think best fits winning this category. So that's just kind of my opinion.
Like I said, it's it feels like kind of a dead heat between the two of those for different reasons.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily disagree. I mean, I disagree that it will get it, but I think that you make a pretty good argument, and that I wouldn't necessarily I wouldn't be unhappy at all, and I wouldn't be super surprised if they got it either. I think the only one where my mouth would legitimately, like, jaw would hit the floor is if Titanfall got it. That's the only one that's really like, okay, what the fuck happened there? But
I think that'd be pretty cool, though, considering a lot of the messaging too recently has been like, oh, it didn't sell that well, and Battlefield 1 kind of cannibalized it, and like that kind of stuff. So it'd be kind of cool if it was like the Phoenix from the Ashes story, where it like rose and still got the award against the game that people consider as being the one that cannibalized it.
Yeah, I mean, I want it to win something, and I'm looking down the line, and I'm hoping it wins something, just to legitimize it, because I think it's a fantastic game, and I'm going to bring it up when we talk about our Game of the Year games. But for now, I just hope it wins something. Not this, though. This is not what it needs to win.
All right. So I scrolled down and realized just how many nominations there are.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
So
we're going to have to start, like,
we're just gonna have to, like,
rapid fire a couple of these.
Rapid fire all these next ones.
Yeah.
Say
your piece in like a sentence or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Best art direction. We have Abzu, Firewatch, Inside.
Skip best narrative.
Did I? Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Yes.
All right. Best narrative. Firewatch. They're like the same games.
Yeah.
Inside, Mafia 3, Oxenfree, and Uncharted 4: Thief's End. So I think that probably Inside will get it. I would say Uncharted 4 only because it's the only one of these 5 games that I've played.
Oh.
I mean, I played a little bit of Firewatch, but I wouldn't say that it's. I wouldn't put it up there.
Okay. I personally would want Oxenfree to get it, because out of the 5 of these, goddamn, the 5 of these, that's the only one I've played. But deep down I know Uncharted's gonna get it. That's the objective pick.
For me, either Firewatch or Oxenfree is the one I'd like to see win it. Again, just because it's a smaller game, so it'd be really nice to see that smaller game get recognized for some of the achievements it made. But realistically, I think Uncharted's going to get it for reasons I don't feel I need to elaborate on.
The truth.
I feel like it's going to be Inside or Uncharted, without question. All right. Best art direction. We have Abzu, Firewatch, Inside, Overwatch, and Uncharted 4: Thief's End. Can we all just say Overwatch? Is that
Yes.
All right.
That's what I've got. Overwatch.
Objective and subjective pick.
With
subjective. Yeah, no.
I say objective Overwatch, subjective. I actually kind of want Abzu to get it.
Okay.
I thought Abzu was really good art direction.
I one of the things that originally grabbed me with Overwatch was the art style. So like that's I'd say objective and personal pick for
I'd say
Overwatch.
it's like a 50-50 with Abzu and Overwatch for me. I really like Abzu's art direction.
It's understandable.
Yeah,
It's a pretty game.
it is.
All right. Best music and sound design. We have Battlefield 1, Doom, Inside, Res Infinite, and Thumper. Honestly, my subjective pick, I'm gonna go with Battlefield because I just think like the game with headphones on sounds just amazing. Doom also, but like the music in Doom didn't really stand out to me. It's just like random heavy metal. But like I feel like probably Res Infinite or Thumper will win.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just have that because they're games that are literally about sound.
Yeah,
So
it's true.
So like if they don't get the sound right, then it's like what was the point? You know what I mean?
True. My subjective pick is Doom because I mean, come on, Josh, I'm a heavy metal guy, so of course I'm gonna fucking love Doom. I probably agree that the objective pick probably gonna be Res. I'll probably give it to Res. They're about sound design. That's what they are. So you know, I have to give it to them.
I didn't play anything on the list for this, so I have absolutely no idea what the objective pick would be. But I'd like to see Thumper get it because that's a game that caught my eye when it came out on Steam, and I think it's pretty cool.
All right. So the next one is best performance, and I'm gonna tell you right now, half of it is Uncharted.
Yes, it is.
So we have Alex Hernandez as Lincoln Clay, Mafia 3, Sissy Jones as Delilah in Firewatch, Emily Rose as Elena in Uncharted, Nolan North as Nathan Drake in Uncharted, Rich Sommer as Henry in Firewatch, and then Troy Baker as Sam Drake in Uncharted. I'm gonna say that either Troy Baker and Nolan North will probably win. I'd kind of like to see Emily Rose win. But I don't, and I heard this tiny scree from Nicole. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. I'd kind of like to see Emily Rose win as opposed to the other two.
Yeah, I mean, I think that no one's gonna be surprised if Nolan North or Troy Baker get it.
No,
like no one's gonna be sitting there like, "Oh wow, what a surprise!"
Oh man, what a surprise win from Troy Baker.
Yeah, the two best male voice actors in the business. Honestly, I didn't play Uncharted, Firewatch, or Mafia 3, so I don't have a reference here. So I have to just say, objectively speaking, I think Nolan North takes it. Subjectively speaking, I'll get on board with you and say it'd be nice if Emily Rose took it.
So on my short list I have beside me, my notes for this one are one of the three people who did Uncharted 4 voices. And for the one I'd like to see win, I'd like to see Sissy Jones for her performance in Firewatch win.
I've no reference.
I thought it was real good.
So I'm gonna name these next ones, and I'm gonna be honest. I haven't played a single one.
Me neither.
So
neither have I. So can we skip it?
All right, Games for Impact Award. I have no clue. So we're just gonna skip over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's read the nominees, but just let's not.
All right, we'll read them, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
We have 1979 Revolution. We have Blockhood, right?
Yeah.
I have heard of that game before.
What is it?
It's like, I believe it's like a management game where you just build stuff, like really weird and abstract structures, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But I remember like seeing it on Rocket Paper Shotgun and being like, oh, that looks really cool.
We have Orwell, which great name.
Yeah.
We have Sea Hero Quest, and we have That Dragon Cancer.
That's the only one I've heard of.
That's the only one I've heard of, and I'm just like, I can't play that. I will be emotionally distraught.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
After Kyle described it, I was like,
I'm all right.
I have
I have no interest in touching that game.
I have no interest in being in perpetual emotional pain for like
Yeah.
another for a month after playing it.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm
Um,
good.
so now we have best independent game. So the nominees are Firewatch, Hyper Light Drifter, Inside, Stardew Valley, and The Witness.
That is
I've
stacked.
played most of these. I really, really dug Hyper Light Drifter. I also really dug Stardew Valley. The Witness I liked for the first 2 hours, and then I just got to all these puzzles I couldn't figure out, and I stopped playing. But I appreciate it for what it is. But if I had to give one of these a score, or not a score, but like pick one to win, I would honestly say, God, it's so hard. I'm stuck between Stardew Valley and Hyper Light Drifter because I really liked them both. Um, I'm gonna say Inside is probably gonna win, but I would personally rather see Stardew Valley win. I think that would probably be my choice, just because of just how impactful it was and how I think it was one of the best openings of a game in years.
Yeah. I guess I feel kind of similar. My subjective pick is also Stardew Valley. I really love that game. It actually, back in March when I picked it up, it helped me get through some depression actually because it was just such a nice game to sit down and play. So that's my subjective pick. But honestly, my objective, what I think will actually win, is The Witness. I think The Witness had this real mass critical appeal. Same with Inside, but I don't know. I feel like The Witness is like, as far as like the way people talked about it, it's like one of the best games that's come out in a very long time, especially in the indie platform. So it's like, and I know people who have sank endless amounts of hours into that game.
Yeah, it's because it takes forever.
Yeah. So honestly, if I was going to go off of which one I felt made more of an impact on people, I think The Witness did that. Whereas I think Inside's still a great game. I'm just not hearing as many people talk about Inside as The Witness.
For the one I think is going to get it, I'm going to go with exact same picks as Josh. I think Inside will probably win it. And Stardew Valley is the one I'd like to see win it because that game came out of fucking nowhere and took people by storm.
So if all three of us have said, Stardew Valley, why can't Stardew Valley just win?
Because that's not how the Game Awards work.
Yeah, it's not how the Game Awards work. Because honestly, Stardew Valley is also not on consoles yet.
Yeah.
And I feel like most of the people that vote in these vote very console centric. So Inside will probably win just because of that.
True.
So next is best mobile and handheld game. So I've played a couple of these.
Category.
So we have Clash Royale, which I've actually heard is pretty good, but I haven't tried it.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Fates, Monster Hunter Generations, Pokemon Go, and Severed. So I've literally only played
like a
Pokemon
farting noise
Go.
for Pokemon Go, Dave.
So I've only played Pokemon Go. Would I pick it? No. Pokemon Go. I think Pokemon Go will win. But I also just haven't played any of these other games, so I have no idea.
I think we all know Pokemon Go is gonna win, but honestly, I need to see any of these other games win, even Clash Royale. I want Fire Emblem Fates to take it because I actually, even though I haven't played much of it, I did play Fire Emblem Awakening on the 3DS when I had a 3DS. Really enjoyed what I could play of it, but I just got busy and I couldn't finish it. I can seriously consider getting a new 3DS again when Fates came out because that looked like such an interesting premise. I loved the idea of that story. And if they pour it to the Switch, by God, I'm buying it. But that's what I want to see because honestly, I just think it's a much better game. And same, even Monster Hunter. Like honestly, I have those games, and I hear Severed's amazing too. Just pick one of those. Just don't pick Pokemon Go. Don't do it.
Pokemon Go is gonna win. You know it's gonna win.
Yeah,
it is gonna win.
Pokemon Go is my one that Dave, you didn't fart there. There you go. Is the one I think is gonna win. But I'd like to see either of the 3DS games that are nominated, so Fire Emblem Fates or Monster Hunter Generations, get it because I think they're a much better quality game as far as the way they are built, designed, and what have you. So I hate how they lump the friggin' handheld games with the mobile games.
Yeah, that's dumb.
So frustrating.
All right, best VR game. So again, I don't think we can even vote on this because I don't have a headset
Me
yet, so
neither.
I've never played any of this.
I am too afraid of barfing
Me
to
too.
even invest in VR.
Amazing.
Maybe next year I'll be able to comment.
Yeah, just read off the nominees and we'll keep going.
All right. So we have Batman Arkham VR, Eve Valkyrie, Job Simulator, Res Infinite, and Thumper. I'm pretty sure Job Simulator is going to win because that's the one I hear people talk about all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Even in my office, that's the one game out of all these I hear about all the time. So
cool.
Probably. Best action game. We have Battlefield 1. We have Doom, Gears of War 4, Overwatch, or Titanfall 2. See, I wanted to say Doom, and then I wanted to say Doom, and then I saw Overwatch, and I was like, I wouldn't even put that in action. But
well, it's because it's first-person shooters are a derivative of the action genre, which is why all of these are shooter-based games.
Yeah.
Actually, 4 of the 5 are first-person shooters, and Gears is a third-person shooter. So
yeah,
there you go.
It's a weird category, man.
Yeah.
Because like action games would also like describe platformers and like stuff like Bayonetta and like.
Yeah, I think Overwatch will win. I kind of want Doom to win as much as I love Overwatch and it's my game of the year. I just really want Doom to win something because I loved it so much.
I want all of these games to win. I love all of these games. I can't. It's hard.
They're all super good.
Personally, oh my god, this is hard. I'll say objectively speaking, fuck, Doom probably.
Right?
I think Doom is probably the objective one. I think that as far as like gamer opinion goes on that, like people were blown away by how good that campaign was. And same with Battlefield, but I think Doom was even crazier to an even crazier degree. Very much the return of the retro shooter. And I think a lot of people really connected with that, and I think that's what's going to propel that to the best action game. Personally, fuck, I'm juggling between Gears, Overwatch, and Titanfall. Titanfall, I guess. I can't pick between those 3. It's really like Gears I loved for how much of a huge like they took already a great series and made it even better. Like that's what Gears 4 is. It's just a better Gears, which is, amazing, and I enjoyed it a lot, and played through the whole thing. Really enjoyed my experience. Overwatch was a great game to play with my friends. I really loved playing with Josh, and we did our streams. Sunk a lot of time into the game. Titanfall is the game that I don't need anybody to feel like I want to play it with. Like I can play Titanfall 2 by myself and be completely happy. So I love them all for different reasons. But if I gotta give it to somebody, for that exact reason I stated for Titanfall, I have to give it to Titanfall 2.
Okay. I think Doom should win this category. Right? And I think Doom might win this category. But there's a bunch of serious competition in here, so I'm not I don't really have a reason for why it would, other than just that it kind of brought back the kind of retro arena type shooter or I guess not arena shooter, but like the more retro style FPS game with Doom, and they did it quite well. So it'd be nice if, since I didn't think Doom was gonna win. I guess maybe, yeah, I didn't think Doom was gonna win anything else, I think, up to this point. But like, it'd be nice if it got best action game. Yeah, because I think it was quite good. So
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, best action adventure game. We have Dishonored 2, Hitman, Hyper Light Drifter, Ratchet and Clank, and Uncharted 4, of course. Uh, I think probably Uncharted will win. If I had to choose one, I would actually go with Hyper Light Drifter. Um, because I think that it is just a really beautiful game that has this. It's like almost Souls-like in its approach. Like it's obtuse and beautiful and just really really cool. Um, part of me wants to say Dishonored 2, but again, it's like we talked about last week. I like Dishonored 2, but it just feels like more pizza,
Yeah.
you know? So, and it's like the same with Hitman and to some extent Uncharted 4. It's like just more pizza. And
Pizza's
Hyper
not
Light
bad.
Drifter felt like a new take on a very classic genre. And so, like, part of me wants to give it to that. But I mean, all of these games are good again, which is the problem.
Yeah. Um, I haven't played all of these, so actually I played none of these. I'm sorry. If I gotta go with objective, I gotta go with Unfarted.
Yeah.
And subjective though, I gotta go with Ratchet and Clank because I actually between the two Sony series, I prefer Ratchet and Clank to Uncharted. Simply for its how goofy it is and gameplay wise, I just prefer the game. I mean, it's not a shot at Uncharted, but I just as far as my own preference goes, I prefer Ratchet and Clank.
Mine is again agreeing with you guys. Probably going to go to Uncharted. I want to say Hyper Light is the one I want to win, but I played that as well, and unlike Josh, I do not have as high opinion of that game. For various reasons. I haven't gone back and tried it with the 60 FPS patch to see if that fixed some of them. So I guess Ratchet and Clank, because it was kind of the return of a very sort of just fun and bright game. Like, which for like a while we haven't really had lots of those except like in the indie space. So I guess that would be my my subjective pick.
Use colors, developers. I like colors. All right. Best role-playing game. We have Dark Souls 3,
Jesus.
Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Blood and Wine, specifically the DLC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
World of Warcraft, Legion, and Xenoblade Chronicles X. So, Witcher will probably win. I did not play the DLC, so I don't know. But if I had to pick one of these, I would go with Legion. The reason I'd go with Legion is because
obvious.
Well, other than just my undying love for
Yeah.
Warcraft and everything Blizzard, I think Legion is the best World of Warcraft has been in almost 10 years. And
shit.
And that's not a small feat.
It's a heck of a statement.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And they've also just like everything that was wrong with the last expansion fixed. It's like we listen to you and there's a roadmap. And it's like here's all this stuff. Like it's just really, really incredible. So that's what I would pick. I'm pretty sure Witcher 3 will win. The Blood and Wine expansion will probably win.
I feel differently. I feel that if I was gonna say objectively, I'd say Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. I think that game hit real hard as far as like the reviews go. Granted, the talk has kind of died off about it, but from what I heard, people really, really love that game. I know you played it, Josh.
I did.
So
I liked it a lot.
Yeah. So I think it has a decent shot. Honestly, I can't see them picking Blood and Wine because it's awesome that they nominated it because they acknowledge that Blood and Wine is literally an expansion for The Witcher 3 is good enough to be considered its own game for the most part. That's
I did
pretty
the
awesome.
same thing with World of Warcraft.
Yeah, World of Warcraft as well, but I don't know. I just like it that it's The Witcher's like a single player game that doesn't require a prescription or anything. So
True.
So I'll give it to Deus Ex for the objective pick. Subjectively speaking, come on guys, I'm the giant robot guy. I gotta pick Xenoblade Chronicles X because I haven't even played it, but I like my JRPGs. I'm definitely planning on playing it at some point, whether I get it for the Wii U or it's apparently there's rumors that it's going to be ported to the Switch. So I'd probably get it for Switch if I was gonna if it ends up being true. Of course, that's completely subjective and for the dumbest reason possible. So feel free to disregard it.
Whatever. For my for the one I think is going to win it, same with Dave. I think Deus Ex is going to get it. Just because like I think critically that game had quite a big impact.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily view some of the other stuff in here as being a big competition. I don't know. I kind of want to say Witcher 3 would get it because Witcher 3 did quite well at the Game Awards last year, but I don't know. I'm not sure. And for subjective pick, Dark Souls 3, because the Souls fans, my God, every time there is a video game award, those motherfuckers always get so salty because their games never get picked. You know? Like last year, they're like Bloodborne was last year, right?
Bloodborne, yeah.
Yeah, like Bloodborne was robbed.
Best game ever.
During like the GOTYs for all the different sites during the video game awards, just constantly, I'm like, I want Dark Souls 3 to get it so all the Souls fans can finally have their day.
Well, see,
they can finally celebrate.
Well, see, Steve, if that's the case, then I want Witcher 3 to get it just to rub it in Dark Souls' face. Like literally,
oh, you piece of shit.
Bloodborne was beat by the full game, and then Dark Souls 3 was beat by the fucking expansion. So.
Oh my God! No, you got it. Don't let them be salty. Let them have their day.
I need the salt. I need all the salt.
What I want to know is. I don't even know what I was going to say.
Well,
let's move on then.
Moving on. Best fighting game.
Yeah, best fighting game. Killer Instinct Season 3, King of Fighters 14, Pokken Tournament, and Street Fighter 5. I played none of these.
Yeah. Well, I played one of them, but
I have not played any of them.
Actually, I played Street Fighter 5, and even then, I wouldn't nominate it.
Yeah, I don't know who will win, but I'd like to see King of Fighters 14 win. That's 14, right? XIV. That's
14.
That is 14.
I think.
Yeah, so I'd like to see that one win.
I think objectively speaking, King of Fighters is probably going to win because I think it's the one that was released this year. That it's not like Season 3 where it's like it's an expansion to an already released game. King of Fighters is of course it's a full release of a new game, and I think that as far as between the three of those, I mean, we've got Street Fighter, which just had controversy all over it. I think it would be odd if that one got picked.
Oh my God, if that game gets it.
Oh my God, there's gonna be so much rage. Pokken Tournament, I know it's a Pokemon fighting game. I don't think that's really gonna be. I think the fighting gamers, like the fighting game gamers, are gonna not exactly like Pokken Tournament getting it.
I mean, it might get it just because Nintendo.
Yeah,
but
that's true. But that's why I think King of Fighters is probably going to get it because it's probably the one that most fighting game people would probably get behind between the four of these. This time it's actually 4 because I'm a little bit more awake now. Subjectively speaking, though, I think that Iron Galaxy does a really good job with Killer Instinct. I really love what they've done with it. I think it's a great fighting game. I hope that gets it. But at the same time, I don't think there's much hope for that. I think that King of Fighters is the one that's going to get it.
Yeah, I said my piece. Like I hope that King of Fighters gets it, but like I don't know who would. So
I don't know. I have no opinion.
Okay, well, let's move on then.
Best family game,
Best
Dragon
strategy
Quest
game.
Builders. What are you No, best family game. That's the next one.
Strategy game is the one afterwards.
Are we reading the? I'm reading the one from the forum. Are you reading the one from?
That's not what I'm reading.
Oh no! I'm reading off of the website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My mistake.
Because Josh was reading off the one from the website.
Best family game. Lost. Dragon Quest Builders, Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Pokemon Go. There it is.
Sorry.
Ratchet and Clank and Skylanders
Imaginators. Josh. We're gonna get the beep again. Wait for it. Come on. Okay, I guess we're not getting the beep. But so I guess I'll talk about mine. So I think, I mean, come on. We all know that Pokemon Go is gonna get it.
Yeah.
That's I don't think anyone's gonna disagree with me on that one. Subjectively speaking, any of these other ones would be great. Subjectively speaking, pick one. It's fine. I'll get behind it.
Josh, you back now?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I said like I wanted to play Dragon Quest Builders, but I haven't played it yet, so I have no frame of reference. I would say Ratchet and Clank's probably gonna win.
Really?
Yeah.
I said Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I'd say Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go is already probably gonna get its mobile reward. So okay, no one said it. Stuff.
No one said what?
Nothing. Best strategy game.
Alrighty. This is
Civilization 6.
Yeah.
We're done. It's over.
This one's tight. Like this one's a race here.
Fire Emblem Fates, The Banner Saga 2, Total War Warhammer, and XCOM 2. I'm gonna go with I think Civ 6 will win, and I want Civ 6 to win.
I don't know.
Civ 6 is dope. So good.
I think that that's hard to say because I haven't played Civ 6. The only one I've played out of these is XCOM 2, and that game kicked my fucking ass. So I'm gonna pick it.
That's XCOM. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pick it for my subjective because it kicked my fucking ass, and I respect that. As far as the objective goes, probably give it to Civ 6 too. Probably, I'd say that like it's as far as what I'm hearing about it, it's a great fucking game, and I think that that's probably gonna be the one and they're both Firaxis games. Honestly, I think that's where the real dead heat is between XCOM 2 and Civ 6. Because honestly, with XCOM 2, like PC gamers are losing their fucking minds over XCOM 2.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a dead heat, but I think Civ 6 will edge it out.
Not to have an original opinion, I think that Civ 6 is going to win it. It came in with a huge splash, and people seem to quite like it. So I think it'll probably win. I'd like to see the Banner Saga 2 or Total War Warhammer win, because I think both of those games are pretty awesome. The Banner Saga 2 being the follow-up to what I think was a very well-designed indie game in the Banner Saga, and Total War Warhammer taking the Total War series and just going like full balls to the walls with it and just running with the Warhammer stuff and just going completely batshit crazy with it and making it just completely over the top awesome. So
solid.
Cool. All right, moving on. Best sports / racing game. Does anyone have no opinion
I have
literally no opinions on this entire.
I do.
All right,
I wrote a
name
fucking...
it. Whatever it is, it's game of the year.
I'll just say Forza Horizon 3, both. It's a beautiful game.
Oh, wait.
Great racing game.
Wait. I changed my opinion. I want FIFA 17 to win because it was developed by EA Canada.
Okay.
Fuck y'all.
And thus
says the Canadian.
And thus a rivalry was born.
all I'll say for any of these is I was walking through the office the other day and I saw some people playing Pro Evolution Soccer, and for a quick second I thought they were just watching soccer.
Hashtag fuck Konami.
Hashtag fuck Konami.
Yeah.
Best multiplayer game. Do I even have to open this? Can we just say Overwatch?
Overwatch.
No, let's have the discussion about it.
All right, Battlefield 1, Gears 4, Overcooked, which I really want to play.
Yeah.
Overwatch, Rainbow Six Siege, Titanfall 2. Still say Overwatch on both accounts. I think Overwatch will get it, and it will win it.
Yeah, I'll say that too.
In my heart and in the heart of everyone else.
I just wanted you to give it. I want you to list it, but I'll say both.
I think Overwatch will get it. I'd like to see Rainbow Six Siege get it. The reason for that, even though I do not like Ubisoft very much or their games, I think, you weren't recording this yet, but before the podcast we were talking about, or maybe we were. No, it was before the podcast. I was saying that
a couple times. So,
I was saying that Rainbow Six Siege, because of all the updates and like patching and work that Ubisoft has done on it and all the support they've put into it, it actually has a higher player count now than it did at launch. And because of that, I'd like to see it get some recognition in a more, just in a more kind of wide spectrum than just like occasion, like a few articles being like, oh hey, that game that Ubisoft launched that didn't do too well, it's doing all right now because they kept supporting it, and like it's actually really good.
Yeah,
so,
I played the beta and I liked it a lot. It showed great esports potential also, like just in the beta, like from all the stuff I saw, I was like, wow, this has so much potential.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't played it since it launched, so
yeah,
that would be cool. I think Overwatch would probably win.
Yeah,
it's Overwatch.
I could see that.
I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff that's like fans' choice, but I don't really care about any of that stuff unless you guys care.
Well, I mean,
the esports stuff we could probably skip,
except for best esports game, though. I mean, I think that has some.
Oh yeah,
worth talking about.
Is that one of them?
That's the thing
best
I can
esports game.
Yeah.
Can we just say Overwatch?
No, I think this is a conversation that's worth having because I mean, my
Dota 2, CS:GO, League of Legends, Overwatch, and Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
So.
You're Overwatch for both.
Yeah, I mean they're about to launch a league, like an MLB league for Overwatch. I mean, that's unprecedented. So,
I mean, subjectively, I'm with you on that, but honestly, good luck to them taking on League and Counter-Strike.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. League or Counter-Strike are probably gonna win it.
Yeah, because that's if I was gonna settle with one, I'd say probably Counter-Strike.
If I was gonna settle with one, I'd
go what?
I'd go with League of Legends.
Oh, okay. Well,
so
thus another rivalry was born.
All right.
Fuck you, Dave.
We're almost there.
I want to talk about Trending Gamer as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know. So we have Angry Joe, Boogie, Daniel Dwyer, Japacupacepta, whatever.
Jacksepticeye.
Jacksepticeye.
And then Lyric. I don't know who half these people are.
Do you know who?
Nor do I really care who or if any of them win. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll talk about my opinion then. Subjectively speaking, I hope Boogie gets it. He's one of my favorite YouTubers, and I've been with him for 3 or 4 years at this point. Found him way back when he did his Francis thing about Mass Effect 3, and been watching him ever since. Mostly because that's actually due to friggin' Colin's video on IGN, actually. So I guess thanks Colin, even though he used it in he used that footage in a way to try and shame Boogie, which was shitty, but whatever. I still really liked. I honestly I love the story of this guy. He's very much like the rags to riches type. He's built himself up from nothing. Working a retail job like me, except he was even shittier conditions, and just really great guy. Really love Boogie 298. I hope he gets it. Objectively speaking, I think there's between the electors at this point, like some of the podcasts I've been listening to, there's definitely a push to get Danny O'Dwyer in there. But which I think he's a good guy too. Honestly, I've seen him on the Kind of Funny Games cast. He's a really nice dude. I think if either Jacksepticeye or Angry Joe post something saying, "Hey, vote for me," then they could go to either of them because they have such a huge fan base. I think they'd just instantly rally behind them and they'd have it.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I'd like to see Boogie get it because I don't watch his videos regularly, but from what I have seen of his videos, he's a real sweet guy, and I think it'd be really nice if he got the award.
Yeah.
But if Angry Joe or Jack posts a thing out to their fans, especially Jacksepticeye's fans. His fans are fucking crazy. Yeah. They're some of the most excited and dedicated people I have seen on the internet. If he says go vote for me, I just tried to snap my fingers and my fingers are sweaty, so it did not work.
Yeah.
There we go. That worked.
There you go. You got it.
Then they drop of the hat, they go out, they'd vote for him, and he could easily get it that way. I also think that with the amount of push I see for Mr. O'Dwyer to get it from different podcasts, that might happen. But I just, with the fan base that Angry Joe and Jack have, I think they could probably. Jack's not even his real name. I don't know why but I think they could more easily obtain it. So. Yeah.
Anyway, best fan creation. Super tiny now because half the nominees got eliminated.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Nintendo.
So we have Brutal Doom 64, and we have Enderall, the Shards of Order. Brutal Doom 64 isn't it Doom 64, but the Brutal Doom mod guys
Did it? I guess.
changed it. I'm guessing that's what it is, which is cool. For those of you that don't know what Enderall, the Shards of Order is, it is basically these guys took the modding tools for Skyrim and just made their own game. And that's what Enderall Shards of the Order is. It literally uses assets from Skyrim and stuff, but it's fully voice acted. It has an entire campaign, its own world map, like tons of stuff. It's huge.
Yeah.
And it took them years to make, and it's pretty cool. I haven't downloaded or messed with it, but I've read into it, and it's pretty cool.
Nice. Objectively speaking, I think Brutal Doom is going to get it, just simply from its popularity at this point. Subjectively speaking, Pokemon Uranium. because
fuck you, Nintendo.
Fuck you, Nintendo. Guys worked for 9
I would actually
fucking
agree
years
with
to
you.
make
I
it.
think Pokemon Uranium would have deserved it if it was still there.
Yeah. So that's my piece on that.
Yeah. I don't know which one of the 2 remaining nominees will get it, but I would have liked to have seen the Metroid remake get it, because I really like Metroid, and fuck you, Nintendo.
Fuck you, Nintendo.
All right, last one. We'll get through this night, hell or high water. Okay. Most anticipated game, we have God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Mass Effect Andromeda, Red Dead Redemption 2, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think Mass Effect will win, and I want all of them to win, except Red Dead maybe, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. Objectively, actually, I think Zelda will get it. I think that game's got a lot of hype behind it, and it's, I think this incoming news that could be getting delayed is going to cause a lot of fan rage.
Yeah.
And that just proves how anticipated it is. Personally speaking, subjectively, I hope Horizon gets it. I'm very interested in that game. I think it's a very, very awesome new IP. I'm glad that Guerrilla Games is trying something new instead of making another Killzone. Real excited about it. I'm also excited about Mass Effect Andromeda, but if you're going to ask which one I'm more hyped about, Horizon. The only one that I would be legitimately pissed about if it got it would be Red Dead. Because Red Dead we've seen nothing of. We've seen 1 minute of pre-rendered cinematic, and that's it. Not pre-rendered, I'm sorry, rendered cinematic. So we've seen what the engine looks like, but we have seen nothing.
No, it's all in-engine. It was just
but we've seen
in-engine.
Nothing of that game. We have seen a lot of Horizon. We've seen some of Andromeda. We saw a little bit of God of War, and we've seen a lot of Breath of the Wild. So if Red Dead gets it, I'm gonna be like, all right, fuck you guys. Like, like
it's on name recognition
like
alone.
you guys, like you guys are the representation of pre-order culture. Fuck you guys.
So to keep the salt train rolling, I think Red Dead's gonna get it simply because of name recognition. I don't want them to,
and thus the rivalry was solidified.
But I think they will, because the name Rockstar is attached to it, and when Red Dead Redemption 2 was announced, the internet came. Like, there was so much jizz everywhere. Nintendo fans are also batshit crazy, so I think Breath of the Wild might have a chance of that. But I just, because it's a Rockstar game, I think Red Dead will probably get it.
I'm casting right now, by the way.
Of the games listed, the only one that I have any interest in is Horizon Zero Dawn. Even though I don't have a PlayStation, and I would not buy a PlayStation for one game, but that would be the one that would be cool to see it win it. So yeah.
I'm actually gonna probably, as much as I'm hyped for all of these except for Red Dead, really. I mean, I'm interested, but I'm not like, oh my god, Red Dead. I'm just like, okay, when it happens, I'll see. Like I do the same thing with every Rockstar game. I'm like, one of these days, one of these will appeal to me. Maybe. They never do, but.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn got me so excited that I started laugh crying. So I think I'll probably say I want that to win. Uh, and I even remember the moment. It was the moment when she like in the E3, the original E3 trailer, when she's like harpooning it and like harpooning it to the ground or
Yeah.
whatever. Oh my God, dude.
Like that's so
I felt
fucking
I
cool.
felt tears in my eyes, and I was just like laughing, like so excited. Like I was on the verge of tears. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I wish
Like
I
I
got that
can't wait to
excited
play
about
this. See, I never get that excited about stuff. That's why I was so surprised when it was happening. I was like, "Oh my God, I can't wait for this." Um, God of War looks great, but I didn't have that reaction. And I actually am a huge fan of the series. I love all the God of War games except for the last one that came out, the Ascension one. I didn't really play that. But I'm excited for the new direction. And I love Norse mythology. So that'll be cool. Mass Effect, it's like more Mass Effect, so I'm excited, but it's also like I haven't seen enough, so I have like no idea what to expect. And then Zelda, I'm really excited for, but you know, it seems like one of those games where I'm gonna play it and then I'll either say, "Cool, I finally got another Zelda game," or like it'll blow me away or something. But right now, it's all Horizon.
Likewise.
I think that's it.
That is it.
We did it.
We got through.
We got through it all. Oh my God.
And we get to talk about it again when I think on, yeah, and it's gonna be next week. So not next week's show, but the week after we get to talk about all the results.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very true. All right. Well, that has been it for this episode of the Geek Tank. Remember to like, favorite, and subscribe this video on Twitch and on YouTube and all those good things. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud if you want to find our RSS feed and listen to us every single week. And yeah, that'll be it. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.